Listen, I know that things have been tough. I understand that, but you have to give me some more time. I'm really getting things fixed up. Please, just don't throw me out. Look, man, I hear what you're saying. I get it. But I'm not going to change my mind. You have to move out. But you can't mean that. We've had so many good times. I mean, what? Are you just going to kick me out and keep Ted, of all people? No, I kicked Ted out last night. I don't know where he is, and I don't care. And honestly, I think everybody's lives are going to be better for this. I think it will be beneficial to all of us. You can start to focus again. But look, I'm so close. I've come up with a new business plan. I've invented this special box. It reads my thoughts, and I'm sorry. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to know about it. I don't care. I can't. What did I even do wrong? Well, to be honest, you haven't paid any rent in 6 months. I'm tired of cleaning up after your parties. I don't want to deal with it anymore, okay? Like, look, you're great. You're just not great to live with, you know? Now, what in the hell is that supposed to mean? I mean, I think it's pretty self-explanatory, really. I'm pleading with you, Jeff Holiday. Please don't throw me out. I don't have anywhere to go. No, I'm sorry, man. I've made up my mind. That's it. We're done. You know what? Fuck you, Jeff Holiday. Fuck you. Fuck me. Fuck you, man. You know, you're never gonna get that stupid ashram back. God damn it.
Hey everybody, Jeff Holiday here. This may seem a bit weird, but a couple of days ago, I found something.
I'll never see Luis again. Strange, the first thing that comes to mind is Luis. He used me, and yet he came thousands of miles to help me. Oh, it's so confusing.
How stupid do you think I am? I think I would have known if the man I was getting married to was involved.
What are you saying? You're stupid. Big-headed without a doubt. Stupid never.
Earth Mother? What are you doing in my TV? What do you mean you're worried about Hemlock? Don't you know where he is? In the bird. It's in the bird.
Big-headed without a doubt. Stupid never.
Fine.
All I am saying is what you wouldn't let me explain.
And so what I'm going to show you today is what was on that USB thumb drive, which I believe is a lost episode of Healing with Hemlock. And yeah, it's weird because I have no idea where Hemlock is. I haven't seen him in forever, but just in case there were Healing with Hemlock fans out there, thought you'd like to see it. So enjoy.
Greetings, star children. It is I, Hemlock Moonwolf, here to bring you blessings of the earth and its mother. Now, for today's episode, we're going to have to talk about something deeply troubling to me. Usually, I don't like to get that personal with all of you. I like to maintain a professional distance between guru and guri. Yeah, I think that's right. You see, well before I became a level 167 guru, when I was still just an acolyte, learning the ways of spiritual teachings, I greatly looked up to someone who I believed was an immense and powerful spiritual figure out here on YouTube. And that is the person by the name of JP Sears. You might recognize him. JP Sears has been around for a very long time. His carrot top red hair, his purple shirt, often a very similar stylish bandana. His, however, is not hiding a third eye, but that's okay. It's not like it's a competition. I'm not really here to brag or say that I'm more evolved and have more power than him. I mean, I do. But that's not why we're here. No, we're here because, unfortunately, JP has fallen down into a very dark path, and I believe that he is now kind of the people that he used to make fun of. But before we get there, I think it's important that we appreciate and we look back on the good times. This is one of his most popular videos, which I thought was very funny when it first came out.
How long have you been a meat eater for? I only eat meat. I'm going to the Meat Stock Flesh Festival. Are you going? Yeah, I want the tofu spring rolls, except I don't eat tofu, so do you have like a tofu flavored chicken you can substitute in for me?
That's not nearly as funny as I remember it being. JP had a very unique and interesting way about bringing forth a spiritual message, but also poking fun at some of the tropes that we see out there in society. And there were times when he'd get a little bit political, but for instance, in this video, he's talking about climate change, and he makes a very salient point.
Unfortunately, you can clearly see that objectively speaking, the climate is changing. I mean, what climate change?
You see, I think that one's quite on the nose, and he's correct. It's very often that people, when given enough money, will forego the whole things like taking care of the planet, our Earth Mother, simply for a fast payout. And I think that's important, but let's watch just a little bit more, because this is a pretty good video.
The idea that industries that pollute with massive carbon emissions in order to make billions of dollars would go to great lengths to manufacture doubt in the public's mind about climate change is completely preposterous. To my knowledge, industry would have nothing to gain. If I'm unwilling to comprehend something, then I automatically think that something is invalid.
So as you can see, even if JP's humor doesn't really hold up as well as it used to, maybe it's just society, maybe we're all getting a little bit older, but he did seem to have a very good point, and he seemed to be on the side of the angels. He was one of the good guys. But then, something happened.
They're fighting a war here and they're losing. The sheer numbers of people succumbing to the coronavirus is overwhelming every hospital in northern Italy.
Take a look at the city's iconic Pike Place Market, normally bustling with tourists and shoppers. On Thursday, virtually deserted.
It's like a ghost town.
Yes, COVID-19. COVID-19 broke JP Sears' brain. Or maybe it was broken before. We're going to investigate that in a little bit, but unfortunately, this left a lasting impression on him, and he seemed to go down a very, very dark path. For instance, there's this video, released in March of 2020, that did not age well at all.
We now have evidence that proves the coronavirus is more severe than we told you it was gonna be. As usual, things are much worse than the news says they are. And as you can clearly see by this graph, the more you stress yourself out through fear of the coronavirus, the more you strengthen your immune system to protect you against it. We're also taking precautionary measures in canceling the summer, all birthdays, the next full moon, the Olympics, and heterosexuality.
Well, that's a very strange one. Why exactly make a joke about heterosexuality? I wonder if the topic of gender is going to come back up later. I guess we'll see.
The CDC recommends that you breathe rapidly and shallowly. This will excite your stress response while keeping your fear trapped in your body. This will help traumatize you so you can properly benefit from sensationalizing about the coronavirus.
It really does seem like he's trying to push this idea that fear is a instilling factor on why the pandemic was a scary thing. And keep in mind, this is well before the pandemic itself really started to rampage through his country.
The idea that you can be completely negligent towards your health in terms of not sleeping enough, eating junk, being overweight, and not exercising, but now choose to take the painstaking measures of wearing a mask to protect your health not only shows you care about your health at a deep level, but will also more than make up for years of absolute neglect towards your health.
Okay, now he's talking about comorbidities. It's very strange because he seems to be following all the talking points of a very specific political persuasion that we saw repeat itself over and over the past 2 years. Weird.
We're hoping and praying that a drug company coincidentally comes out with a vaccine that's somehow magically created with long-term studies to show its safety and effectiveness against the coronavirus within the next few months. Such a vaccine would be rapidly sold to hundreds of millions of people around the world, and it would also make the months of panic and sensationalism by the news outlets look like they were in on the most deceptive yet elaborate marketing scheme the world has ever known.
And just like that, JP Sears is an anti-vaxxer. Simple as that. Now I know what you're gonna say. Whoa, Hemlock. Just because somebody sounds like an anti-vaxxer, it doesn't mean that they are. No, actually, you're wrong. If they sound like an anti-vaxxer, they're an anti-vaxxer. Shut up. But what's even more fascinating about this is now it's a giant conspiracy, and that every single one of the hundreds of thousands of people all involved in making this happen, we're all in on it, and it's all a very greedy conspiracy to infect the population so then they can sell you a product to make you better. Now don't get me wrong, that's a damn good sales pitch, and I would know, because that's how I make my living is through sales pitches. But it's also hilariously batshit insane. Now, I'm not naive, and obviously we should be very skeptical of the things that people try and instill within us to be afraid. We should always look at the news through a skeptical lens. We don't have to just blindly believe everything that's told to us. For instance, people have tried to tell me that Friends is a good show. I fucking hate Friends. Like, I just don't get it. It's not that funny. It's not very clever. All of the characters are really annoying. And it's not even like I'm having this hate for nostalgia or something like that. I watched it when it first came out, and it's just not funny. Coincidentally, that's also something that JP Sears shares with Friends. But regardless, just because that is the case doesn't mean that the news is wrong. It could be, but it also could be right. And just simply blindly believing that anything that you hear on mainstream news is a lie, well, that's very stupid. Like, you could literally just be a contrarian and want to do the opposite that the news tells you, and it could literally kill you. Well, we're getting a report that there's a tornado coming, so you should shelter in place. Well, the news is always a lie, so fuck that. I'm gonna go outside and throw a party. We're having a breaking news update that there is salmonella infected in the chicken at the local grocery store, so don't buy the chicken. Well, now I'm just gonna have to go and buy all of the chicken, and you know what? I bet they'd tell me to cook it, so I'm just gonna eat it raw. Fuck you, news. That's just dumb. Now, JP continued to make a lot of videos about COVID and the vaccine. I don't really want to go through all of them because they're all pretty much garbage. However, we are going to take a look at this one. This is titled New Revelations of the COVID Death Count. I'm sure it will be very fun.
As your trusted health authority, I'll share with you why you should be more scared than ever before. But first, there's been a new twist in the COVID crisis. We just published research on the CDC website that shows only 6% of COVID deaths that we've been reporting to you were caused by COVID alone. 94% of COVID deaths had an average of 2.6 comorbidities.
And there's the comorbidities again. You see, it really is quite something when somebody dismisses a massive amount of death simply because it's politically convenient. I think we have a word for that.
Wow, what a prick.
Yeah, it's scummy and inhuman and pretty fucked up. The truth is, even if you have comorbidities and COVID kills you, COVID still killed you. I don't know how that's hard to understand. Like, oh, well, he died from COVID, but he was also a pretty sick guy. So he just died because he was a sick guy. No, when you're sick already and you get sick again, you get worse sick. That's like
elementary school logic.
Yeah, that's really obvious.
That means of the 161,392 COVID deaths that we've been shoving in your face, only 9,210 were legitimate COVID deaths. And does this new information that proves that COVID is far less deadly than we've been trying to get you to believe mean you shouldn't live with intense fear anymore? Absolutely not. As your trusted health authorities, we consider our original estimates of over 2 million COVID deaths in the US to be a far more accurate number than the 9,200 deaths that have actually happened.
Again, this video really did not age very well. And it's true, you know, there wasn't really that many. There wasn't 2 million. There was, oh my God, that's a lot of people. That is a lot of people who died of COVID. Wow. That is a lot of damn people. It's hard to imagine that many people dying. Like, what the shit? But hey, no, it's totally cool, JP. Let's make a joke about it. A big joking video, so we can, you know, signal to all of our anti-vaxxer pals that we're one of the good ones. Yes, COVID is totally fake. Absolutely, not a big deal, and it's just a giant conspiracy, all to control people, not a global pandemic. Now look, this is obviously a terrible and shitty thing to do, and JP Sears should feel bad for doing it, but somehow, I think all the money that he makes off of doing this is probably going to comfort him a little bit. Yeah, I don't think he's going to mind too much. But anyway, I really want to show you this video in specific. This is quite something.
Hey, you're awake! I thought you'd never wake up. Oh my gosh. How long was I out for? Like 19 years. I'm so grateful for being awake. I probably wish you weren't, though.
It's a pretty classic idea for a video, trying to make fun of the current year by having somebody wake up and they were in a coma from a long time ago, and that way they can be analyzing the world from a set of fresh eyes. It's clever, but a bit overdone. But whatever. I'm sure nothing in this video is going to be terrible.
Well, but at least after 9/11, did our country keep getting more united? Yeah, kinda. What do you mean? Well, do you remember in history class learning about the Civil War? Yeah. Well, there's one happening now.
No? What are you talking about?
So, like, in our country, there's opposing armies killing each other on battlefields? No, not yet. Right now, the Civil War is being fought at the psychological level, but I'm hoping it progresses to the physical.
Okay, first of all, this is very, very weird. But also, why would you want that?
Why would you hope that?
Thank you.
Yeah, I just think it'd be really interesting. One side is very pro-gun, the other side is very anti-gun. I don't think they really thought through their whole strategy on that. That would be kind of cool to see.
Okay, we have to talk about this for a little bit, because this is very strange. There is no civil war happening in America. There are ideological differences, but they are blown way out of proportion by shitheads like JP Sears that are trying to get people to pay more attention and to buy into their rhetoric. The simple fact of the matter is, anybody who fetishizes a civil war is an asshole, a bloodthirsty, shitty human being. War always has collateral damage. Innocents die. That wouldn't be cool to see, JP. That wouldn't be, wow, that's so interesting. That would be fucking awful, you prick. Also, I don't think he quite understands that the further left you go, you get your guns back.
What else is different? I mean, not much. It's hard to really think of anything. Oh, men can get pregnant now. Really? Not really, but you kind of just gotta go along with it.
And this brings us to a very, very troubling part of JP Sears' current political ideology. You see, if there's one thing that JP really, really hates, it's trans people. Like, there's this video, and 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 this video. Yeah, he just really hates trans people. I don't know why. What did they ever do to you, JP? Do they scare you? Are you afraid of trans people? That would be pretty funny. Like, can you imagine JP Sears is out there, dressed like Rambo, ready for the Civil War, but as he starts to march towards the enemy, he realizes it's an entire platoon of hot trans people, and he just has to run away in total terror. Okay, that actually would be kind of funny and pretty interesting. I don't know, maybe there's something to it now.
On the brighter side, there's gotta be like some amazing advancements from some of the brightest minds on Earth. Like, have they cured AIDS yet? Now they're causing it. How are they doing that? Well, you remember how we used to have freedom of speech, but don't now? Yeah. So I can't really talk about it. here.
Well, isn't that a very suspicious thing to say? Around this time, JP was getting in a little bit of trouble, you see, because he seems to be a bit of an AIDS denialist. Now, I can't prove it, because the videos in which he talked about it were deleted. Maybe by him, maybe by YouTube. But, yeah, this serves as a little bit of a spooky reminder. Anyway, tacked on to the end of this video is 2 minutes worth of his own ads, including him trying to shill for his own React channel. Fascinating. He's wearing a shirt that says 1776.
Hey there, my freedom-loving friend. If you haven't heard, I started an all-new YouTube channel called JP Reacts. On it, you get to watch viral videos with me as I call out the lies and corruption of tyrants, the absurdities of woke culture, and also highlight the amazing work of other freedom fighters.
But after that ad, he has an ad for a light therapy to clean your teeth. Look at this thing. Nothing about that is going to get your teeth clean. It's just going to make you look like an idiot. See? Simply looking through JP Sears' video catalog, you will find that he has now become a hardcore right-wing grifter. He pushes COVID denialism, he pushes AIDS denialism, and basically likes to trash on any woke, whatever the fuck that means.
It doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Or to just simply spew cruelty and hate about trans people. But when exactly did JP lose his soul? Well, there's this article.
This article comes from thespokesman.com back in November of 2021. There's not a lot of conservative comics out there. I asked Dennis Miller years ago if being the court jester for the right was a career move. Is it a career move for you? I'm not smart enough for this to be a career move, but it's turned out to be great for my career. When COVID hit, I started realizing our freedoms are being taken away. Things are not happening to protect people's health. Our freedom was being taken away. I didn't realize that freedom is my #1 value. Pro-freedom became a conservative movement. Giving up freedom became a movement on the left. I was never political before, but I'm insanely behind freedom. I have conservative values. During the spring of 2020, me being pro-freedom caused some backlash. I realized if I spoke my personal truth, I would possibly lose some of my audience, but I had to follow my heart and be true to myself. What happened is that my audience has grown exponentially since the majority of comics lean left. So few comics are conservative, and I play to a niche audience.
And we might be able to find a little bit more insight with this one.
This article is from McGill Office for Science and Society and was published back in 2020. I think we were all caught with our pants down when it was revealed that JP Sears was actually an emotional healing coach. His credentials certainly raised my eyebrows. He is neither a psychologist nor a psychiatrist. Rather, he is reported as having been a faculty member of the Czech Institute. Its courses teach students to harness the energy of their chakras, a spiritual concept not based in fact, as well as promoting the unscientific concepts of detoxing and boosting your immune system. The founder of this institute, Paul Chek, endorses anti-vaccination rhetoric, and Chek and Sears are reportedly very close friends. These days, Sears, ever the businessman, hawks a variety of supplements and gadgets that typically have no real evidence behind them. He has sponsorships for magnesium supplements to combat stress. This penchant for Sears to advertise products we don't need is not new. The website he was using to sell his services over 10 years ago featured so-called healthy resources such as ultra-life metabolic-type supplements and the now infamous Ground Zero for quackery, Joe Mercola's website. That's right, years before JP was mocking wellness trends, he was openly endorsing Joe Mercola's suite of pseudoscientific supplements.
As you can see, it's kind of hard to directly nail down when or exactly why JP does the things that he does, or why he turned into such a terrible, vile, disgusting piece of shit. If we look at his website now, as you can see, it's nothing but politics and him trying to shill shitty products. But if we simply step back 3 years and look at his website then, you can see that it paints an entirely different image. JP Sears seemed to always put comedy first, and the messaging in there somewhat, trying to be clever with it. He was always spiritual, it's true. However, his spirituality was more focused on trying to bring about something positive in the world. That is completely antithetical to what he does now. Now, he simply spews hate and garbage. He lies about objective reality. He puts other people in danger by instilling within them ideas that a pandemic is either fake or not as bad as it actually is. And I can almost guarantee you I know exactly why he did it. It's simple. You see, JP has turned to the dark side. And not the cool dark side like Hemlock Deathwolf. No, this is just the soulless, grifting, terrible, shitty human being dark side. The kind of person that, he used to make fun of.
Unfortunately, you can clearly see that objectively speaking, the climate is changing. I mean, what climate change?
Either way, it's terrible to see, but it is what it is. Once my hero, now unfortunately turned into a villain. What are you gonna do? I do know what I'm going to do though, Star Children. Me and the Earth Mother have to get back to work. You see, we've developed an incredible device, one that's going to allow me to beam my thoughts directly into it and communicate with the spirit world. Thus, I can further my career as a ghost doctor.
Spiritual 911.
But for now, I have been Hemlock Moonwolf.
Hemlock Moonwolf.
Here to bring you blessings of the Earth and its Mother.
Earth Mother.
Namaste.
And there you go. That's the lost episode, I guess, of Healing with Hemlock. I do wonder what he's doing. I hope he's safe. I hope he's out there enjoying life, living it up. I really do.
Well, this is quite the mess we've gotten ourselves into. Everything is totally screwed. The Earth Mother is trapped in the internet, and I'm being hunted by every law enforcement on the planet. There must be some way out of this. There must be some secret magic I can use. If it takes the rest of my life, I will find it. Greetings, Star Child. It is I, Hemlock Moonwolf.
Usted es muy hermosa, señora, y tengo pena decirle que me da $5 americanos, pero si no, mi padre me va a pegar.
Excuse me, what?
He says you're very beautiful, señora.
Okay, well, I'm a man, though. I'm all man. I'm all man, baby.
And he's ashamed to ask you for $5 American for this picture. But if he doesn't, his father will beat him.
Oh, I see. You're a salesman. Well, I, too, am a salesman. But I can give you something even better than money. There you go. Be careful with that. It's LSD.
Gracias.
Anyway, I must depart. I have many, many miles to travel.
Miren, miren. Allá, viene una tormenta.
Wait, what did he say?
He said there's a storm coming in.
Oh, there's a storm coming. That storm? That one right there? That's right there? I don't know how you spotted that. I mean, seriously, you must be a genius. I bet you get total A's in all of your classes, don't you? I mean, it's just astounding. You must be just the twinkle of your mother's eye. An absolute freak of nature. So brilliant. Seeing that storm and noticing that it is actually a storm. I just, wow. Wow. Anyway,